Hello, hello, hello. This is what I'm contending with at the moment. I tried to grab my headphones off my desk as I went live, and then my pad also fell onto me. The tangled up a little bit, but we're all good. Hope everyone is doing well. I was doing some Destiny runs and trying to grind out some quests before like the content all changes in next month, and Christ, some of these quests are long, so apologies about being late. We are ready to jump back into Skyward Sword now. Oh, so yeah, last time we got ourselves into the Silent Realm, was it? And we managed to figure all that out, and I get the first hint at where we need to go, which I think was inside of the tree. So we should be able to like go and douse. I remember we got the ability to swim. Means that we should be going straight into the tree now. But been a day of like getting some questing done, rogueliting done. Yeah, also did a run on like what do you call it, Poker Rogue. I managed to like actually beat the classic mode and unlock endless mode, which the boss for that game does not mess about. That's all I'll say. Like, don't worry, I don't want to like give away spoilers. I know it's like a fan-made Pokemon roguelike, but like someone might not spoil. But yeah, like that game, all of a sudden it's like 200 waves, and you get to like wave 180, and all of a sudden like shit just starts getting very, very serious. I think my biggest critique is like you could easily make that classic mode just 100 runs. Like by the time you're like doing the final boss, your Pokemon levels is like 200, and yeah, it's just crazy. Like you spend half your time just like slowly building up a team, I guess, but half of my time spent playing was like just not really changing my team up at all. It was just leveling them up. Well, thank you very much for like being a fan, and thank you very much for the comment. It's always like genuinely nice. I know a lot of the time like people don't say anything because they're afraid like, oh, but you know, you get that comment from other people or whatever, but it's really nice to know that like, you know, even if it is just, hey, you made something dumb that I enjoy, or like you know, some people you know, say that it really helped them in other ways and stuff, and like just any kind of positive comment is nice regardless of whether it is just like, hey, I think you guys do some dumb fun stuff. Like, I always appreciate it regardless, but like I think people always forget that, you know, most people are very quick to make negative comments, so the amount of negative comments we get in comparison to positive is sadly quite low. So it is always appreciated. I do really I'm very thankful for nice positive comments like that. You know, it's nice to know that we are just helping people get through the weeks and get through the day and everything, and like I'm a person who just has a podcast on pretty much every time I'm not doing something, and sometimes when I am, you know, doing other things, and like I every time I'm like just grinding stuff out on games, or like you know, cooking. I do a lot of cooking and stuff. Like I've always got like a video on in the background, or a podcast on in the background or something, so it's nice to know that like I can be that for other people and produce that content that people want to. Because I genuinely, I don't like go crazy, but I do go a bit like crazy when it's, especially when it's like holiday weekends, and obviously everyone takes the holiday off, and most people generally don't like pre-prepare podcasts and stuff. And we don't either. It's like perfectly valid to not and just take some time off, but it is like, I just look at my Spotify like podcasts list and I'm like, oh no, but where's my content to consume? It's always very funny when I just like, especially the ones where it's like an American holiday or something, because most of, like, not most, but a lot of the podcasts will do American, but I don't necessarily know when the American only holidays are going to be, so it just always sneaks up on me of like, oh shit, yeah, my podcast feed is just like empty right now because everyone's taken off, like, I don't know, Veterans Day or something like that that I'm not aware of. I always remember like the 4th of July now. Don't think we're gonna make these shots. There is a spider on the vines somewhere. Oh! One little spider. I just more want to see if I can make the shot than anything else. Come on, little spider, come back. You can do it. Okay. I'm not sure that was the spider I was aiming for, but we got one. We got one up there. Don't want to get snuck up on by spider on this side to knock me on the way back down. Gonna be, remember to get your bug net out straight away. No, that's the slingshot. Look those hornets up. Yes. Yeah, yeah, I appreciate that as well. Like, I do think a lot of that credit goes down to, like, you know, back at the origins of Fact Fiend, and I know Carl said, like, when they were making it, that they wanted to make sure that it was, like, just listening to a conversation between two friends, and that's ultimately, like, what our style of content has always been, even moving into, like, the Wiki Weekends format, where it was kind of like, you know, here's a Fat Fiend style video, but it's done in a different way. So yeah, like, it's very much always stemmed from that, and it does basically mean that even like the videos, they basically just feel like kind of mini podcasts, and now getting to the point where like they're not even that mini. Even like the weekends episodes, we started getting to the point where they're all like 40 to 50 minutes long, which is like double the length they used to be. Which is literally longer than some of the podcasts I do listen to. So they basically are just like, I guess they're just podcasts that are hosted by one of us, not both of us, and then you have a proper podcast, which has also ballooned from like an hour to nearly 2 hours now. But it's just it, like, that was an intentional thing where, you know, kind of sat down and gone, hey, a lot of the people, when we do make longer videos, do comment that they like. I'm having a good day, yeah. That's I know that's something Carl's spoken about, doing of like watching like old content, and spoken about like doing that in the past. So like, I know Carl's tweeted about it recently, So yeah, it's definitely something we are like considering doing more of. But yeah, it's just like one of those of sorry, yeah, I was talking about like making the videos a bit longer. Like, yeah, we always got comments of people being like, oh hey, yeah, I like these longer videos, so just never really saw any negative feedback to it, and people seem to be sticking to, you know, a rough percentage of the video that they used to anyway on average, so it seems to be something that people want. Like, well, hey, if some of the feedback is that they like the longer videos, why not make some? I mean, I'm always like, you know, I'm always excited in a sense of like, I don't decide normally what I'm gonna pick until like, you know, the hour before we do the podcast. Or podcast tomorrow, by the way, for anyone wondering, gonna be live as far as I'm aware, like streamed live, rather than just being pre-recorded like the last couple of weeks were while Carl was getting set up. So Carl's gonna like double check everything tomorrow and make sure that everything seems like it's gonna be working fine. But yeah, hopefully that should be a live stream tomorrow. And you. Live humor. Haven't seen one of you in a while. Yeah, it's pretty much like, hey, you know, sometimes I'll decide, like, basically a lot of the time now that I make the thumbnails in advance. Like when we're live streaming it, I'll make them in advance, whereas what, you know, we used to do the podcast and then I'd make one. But I'll normally be like, hey, Carl, do you know what subject you might be talking about? And Carl will say something, and I'm like, okay, well, that one does make a good thumbnail. But I've got longer to think about what mine is. And if it doesn't make for a good thumbnail, I'll think, well, what's on my list of things, of potential ideas that could make it? Oh, yeah, I did see a few comments. I mean, like, most of the time people were just saying kind of like, they either read people's minds or just suck people dry with it. But, like, I don't know if there's any other answers, because as I assume they've probably had multiple uses over the years and, like, done dumb things in one-off episodes and stuff. Yeah, no worries. Thank you for joining in, and thank you for the nice comments, as I say. Nice to just... Thank you for popping your head in. See you later on for their technology. Been seen to be thought out for on some models, like... That's the weird, like, I mean, obviously to us, like, because I'm thinking, like, manipulator arm, as in, like, you know, well, how can you manipulate things with just a plunger? But to me, it seems very silly to be like, oh yeah, this is a manipulator for technology that is literally just a plunger head. But I guess if you've got smarter technology, you don't need, like, more precise inputs. It's... Maybe you can just, like, fucking read the mind of the Dalek to know what it wants it to do or something. We're looking for the flame. The human who can see me and see the great flame. I wonder what happens. Please. This is a secret. Please don't tell anyone. I'm always... I know in a Zelda game, Nintendo don't give you choices. They just pretend to. It's like, if I say no promises, it's gonna be like, oh, well, you should definitely keep it a secret. Promise you'll keep a secret, please? Can't keep a secret? Here I am trying to let you in on a big secret, and you can't even promise to keep it yourself? Do you even want to hear it? No. Not really. Oh, fine, I give up. You climbed all the way up here, so I'll tell you anyway. That, hey, Link, you can keep the secret, right? No. But this is a secret. Do you want to hear your secret? No. Okay, well, you climbed up here to find something out, so I'm going to tell you regardless. Okay, Ninja. Thanks. Oh, yeah. 100%, like, the real reason is budget. But it's just funny to know what, you know, what creatures they made out of shit they probably had lying around the BBC factory or whatever. Like, just the prop workers being like, yeah, it is like £2, make a new alien. And it's like, fuck it, we've got like a bin bag over there. We've got like a plunger in the kitchen. Like a plunger and a whisk in the kitchen. So just like, I guess just throw that all together. It's like, it's just funny knowing that that's the origins. And then they had to come up with like logical, quote unquote, things that they could do with those things. I'm like, well, what does a whisk do? It's a death ray, don't worry about it. But that is true, yeah. So like, advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. It's like, I really liked that take when they originally had that in like, I think it was the first Thor movie, right? In the MCU, where they would took that of like, how do we blend like Thor in the world of like Iron Man together? Like, how do these two things make sense? And it's just, yeah, we've got magic technology, but it's just technology that you don't understand and that sometimes even we don't understand. Man, that's so weird. Like, obviously, it makes sense that bubble wrap was like newfangled at the time, but like, well, like all this cool thing, like this new invention called bubble wrap, but you just like, because it's when I was born, bubble wrap was already a perfectly normal thing. It's just something you never consider of like, oh yeah, that was a relatively modern invention, right? And it is very funny how many old episodes seem to either, you know, have like two corridors that are a spaceship with some random Daleks in them or something, or how many of them just have to come up with excuses for, oh well, yeah, we were gonna go here, and even the modern ones did it. Even the modern ones did do it. I'm not taking away from them, but like, oh yeah, we're gonna go to like the end of all time and space or something like that. We're gonna go see like the last star in existence, and it's, oh shit, we ended up in like fucking Birmingham. The TARDIS decided that it wanted to come here instead. Oh no. Oh, wait up, hang on. I mean, surely, like, when you think about it, the wheel's probably not the oldest invention we still use today. Because some kind of, like, improved version of, like, weaponry and stuff, like, nets and things like that as well, I wonder, like, don't know. Like, obviously not rope nets, but, like, I'm sure, like, people might have figured out how to, like, conjure up basic forms of, like, traps and nets and stuff like that. Yeah, I've just... Yeah, obviously I do not know anything about, like, what came first back in, like, you know, the Stone Age or anything like that. But I'm sure there are better versions of other technologies that we also now use today. Come on, dude. Like... I get it, but also just let me go. Let me go. You're getting very talkative. Oh, shit. Oh, Link! Absolutely just took it. Just tanking that fall. That was impressive. I genuinely thought that the game was gonna, like, white out to another screen or something of like, no, you can't fall all the way down. Oh, that's an instant death or something. We're just gonna reset you back up at the top. They just took it. I don't know, I mean, I guess, like, shoes obviously helpful. Stop you, like, stepping on shit and getting diseases and stuff, like, just generally getting injured and not being able to walk anymore. Like, I don't know how early shoes would have been, like, essential necessary. It's always interesting to think about, like, yeah, how early would have we needed these technologies? Like, not every technology is necessarily needed when it's invented, but I also did miss your comment right about building that Porygon. Yeah, right. Yeah, we do. It's actually quite funny because playing on Pokerogue has meant that I'm actually finding out about Pokemon that, or like kind of using Pokemon that I would not have thought of because you've got no better choices. And not that it has definitely got the exact same moveset in the game compared to in actual competitive Pokemon, but it's been really interesting that, like, for example, Tapu Fini has basically been like the one that got me through near enough everything that I needed to get through when I did like the full run of it. It's a lot harder to circle. There we go. I always thought the Tapus were like a pretty neat idea. I don't necessarily love the design of them all. The only one I'm particularly enamored with in terms of design alone is Tapu Fini. But I do like the idea of each of the 4 islands has their own, just like, essentially they're like kind of like totem protectors on. Just dive in. Let's find out. I presume we just dive in. Link just going for it. So yeah, this is essentially now what happens in the 3 areas that we've discovered already. You can kind of see like some grayed out part of the map on each one. And you just expand the area out. With some rather pleasant music as well. Yeah, I can't remember how many of them I have now, but it was one of those of like, speaking of the Tapus, I had like multiple shiny Tapu Kocos because they were just giving them away with like a code or something. Just like, I think I've now gotten rid of a couple of them, but at one point I think I had like 3 or 4 shiny Tapu Gogos just sitting in a box. But I think I've like only saved 1 and now the rest I sent out for trades. Awkward Pokemon. It's so slow, I think, if I remember correctly. I might just be able to kind of spam through, because I can't remember whether this is one of those escort things of like, you have to go as slow as the character does. They'll speed up with you. I think they do speed up with you. Yeah, the M-Ball sounds like it's got a really good mix of things. They explode in a box. Very awkward. It was a lot worse when it was motion controls though. Because the motion control version of swimming like this is that you've got to be like pointing which way you want Link to float. So like I'd have to be pointing up and then point down if I wanted to go that way, and then back up again, and it's very awkward. Oh hey. Orella, don't eat. No. I don't think these are Zoras. Basement 7. Ugh, grim. Hopefully it's not as grim as fighting Cali Ice. Obviously, like, Color X Ice, it's just a case of, well, just have Wide Guard. It's fine. You can kind of just stall out with Wide Guard, but don't have Wide Guard available at the time, then that's when it becomes a massive problem. The next route. Okay. Like little bits like that. It's just okay, just let me discover it. It's okay. I'm not gonna get lost. And if I do, that's okay, because you let me get lost in a lot of Zelda games and we've been fine. Oh, you get another one in the Indigo. Yeah, at this point I should probably go get extra. A legendary. From Indigo Disc. More just pure laziness of like, I don't want to build that. Like the Point Room White build, is it that like people have figured out to make the harder version of the tournament doable by just spamming A? I mean, I will say, I'm sure like it's interesting for someone who hasn't played before, but like, this is definitely not, you know, the what I consider at least the fun parts of Zelda. But I love exploration in Zelda, and it's one of my favorite parts, but this to me is not any kind of like exploration. This, you know, slowly swimming down a corridor. Hey Shadow, thank you for joining. Whoa! Get the froggies in. Frogs in chat. But yeah, like, as interesting as it must be just seeing, like, you know, this is what just different elements of Zelda games are like. To me, I'm just like, okay, but I've had this experience before. It was alright the one time. But just every time you replay it, it's like not the bit where I have to like slowly swim through the corridor and find the right exit, and just it proper slows down the gameplay. I mean, God, this has been what, like, said the clock was 19 hours playtime, so I presume that's been 5 or 6 streams. They've all been like varying between like 2 and 3 hours. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I think that's how you kind of like, you know, realize that not just it being a case of, oh, the Wii was a bit of a gimmicky console. Like, no, this was full on built around the gimmicks of the console, so wanted to do some like weird, wacky stuff with it. And some of it really works, and some of it really doesn't. But yes, exhaustion is a hell of a drug. Oh, good. Oh, God. Oh, dear. Oh, there we go. Oh, wait, what? Oh, okay, we were meant to kill it. I thought that the aim was to get it to bash the big doorway. And that's how you opened up the doorway. And I was like, oh, it's doing. I was just thinking of just how am I going to open the door now that I've killed the thing that opens the door? But yeah, it's a weird thing. It's like, for example, with the Super Mario 3D All-Stars Collection or whatever it was called on Switch, where they could quite easily... Wow. The head is the key. Yeah, I'm currently trying to get better into a nicer diet and smaller portion. Yeah, it's not the nice. Oh well. It will be for the better, but currently in that like beginner phase where it's like, God damn it, I want more food. Yeah. Does that imply as well that there's certain like there's only because there must be only certain ones of these that can access these doors, because only some of them have the right key shape. Maybe as they mature they gain like the bigger head shape. Talk with the water dragon to get. I mean, obviously, like, it's one of those, isn't it? Of if you have the goal of up to, then if you notice that you hit, like, you've lost, like, 10 kilos, and it's like, oh, okay, now I'm a healthy weight, it's like, yeah, just, and then you just leave it there. It's always one of those, making sure it's healthy for you as a person. Everyone's different. It would be pretty handy if you were the key to your own place, but like, if that was the case though, that means that if people wanted to potentially mug you for the keys, they've got to kidnap you. Which is kind of a terrifying prospect. It's like, obviously, most people are breaking into houses. They don't steal the keys to the house. But yeah. But if that was the case, and for some reason someone wanted to steal the keys to get into your house without breaking in, then yeah, they'd have to just kidnap you. I guess that's kind of a similar notion to when you see in movies like the handprint scanners and all that, and when people either like grab the body and slap their like dead or unconscious hand onto the scanner, Or sometimes when it's like, fuck it, just take the hand. That is one of your scales. I like that. Such a sacred gift could only be carried by the goddess's chosen hero. Could you really be him? And I say, Baron here is like, this raises questions. Even with that scale in your possession, finding my haul is no easy task. Like, this could just be a guy that has stolen a scale, right? Oh, well, cool. She's gonna eat the Kikwi that gave away her secret of how to reach her. Like, oh, you're the chosen hero. Excellent, you're here. It's good that you're here. Oh, I'm gonna kill the person who told you how to get here. Got it. I'm gonna eat them alive. A shrimpy boy like you hardly looks the part of the goddess's chosen hero. There we go. A test is in order to prove you're everything you say you are. Shortly before your arrival, I was attacked by a pompous creature calling himself Girahim. And Girahim, if we all remember, is the like actual just JoJo villain inside of this game. I stood against this self-proclaimed demon lord, but I was wounded in the encounter. And I think that's why the yeah, they've been forced to recuperate in this basin of sacred water. But the healing properties of the water have diminished. I'm now in need of another dose to freshen up my healing. Bring me a container of fresh sacred water that I fire. Oh, people putting all the beetles together from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, is it? Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Like, I've seen, it might not be the same video, but I've seen a video of that, of people just, like, slowly just bumbling the beetles to all one, like, go to one location. Because each stable has a beetle spawn, so one beetle doesn't exist in the world. One beetle exists every stable in the world. Obviously, normal gameplay, that just looks like there's one beetle. But yeah, technically you can assemble different ones from different locations and push them all together. I have wisely elected to carry an empty bottle. Use it to carry the water beam. Because, like, I don't know... Are stands the ones that are, like... the... really eccentric thing? Or is it the users that are... I don't really know much about JoJo. I know I need to sort out something in my life, but... It was one of those of just... It's on the list, but the first impression I got of it was a friend showing a group of us it completely out of context in a situation where we were like talking, so I only kind of got like half the gist of it. Right, because I assume that Girahim would be more like a character than a stand, as far as I'm aware, because like, for example, like, I've obviously seen, like, JoJo and Dio. Like, they're both just characters and not stands, right? For everyone. Butterflies hanging around here. There we go. It could look like any. Fair enough, yeah. I mean, I do like the idea that anything could be like your superpower of like, I could be using the power of a puddle or a fishing pole. And I presume that that means that, like, you can just disguise them and people not know that you've got these things on you. Yeah, Red Hot said beforehand, like, the fishing pole zippers. So does that mean that you could technically walk around with, like, for example, the fishing pole, and everyone would be none the wiser kind of thing? Only stand users can see stands. Okay, yeah. It's just normal walk. So it's not as easy as just going here. That's the temple. But I don't think I think we get the healing before entering the temple. And then they give us the ability to open the temple after we've proven our thing. Cows. Sacred water. Here. Is this the game just holding our hand and being like, this is in the foreign woods? Yeah, yeah. Hey, in case you didn't realize that these places were interconnected, these places are interconnected. You can go between the woods and the lake now. Yay! That's the thing, you look at what this Link can do, and then look at what, like, Tears of the Kingdom Link can do. Just this Link would have absolutely zero chance. They are very fun designs. I always like it when they do that. That's... doesn't particularly help me. Go on this one. From the looks of it, it is like on the opposite side of Farron than we are right now. Not helpful. Ow, god damn it, Link, get in the water! The bats can't find us under the water. They can't hurt us here. Oh, is it in the temple? Part of me vaguely remembers having to go back into the temple from, like, the very first temple from the game. At this point, I should have gone back to the sky and come... Christ. However, it does give us the fun excuse. Oh. Will they actually take damage? What does this bokoblin think when Link doesn't go into battle with the bokoblin? He just runs in like, no, 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 I need to catch the hornets. No. How insulted would you feel if you thought you were getting into a fight with Link and he's like, I don't give a shit about you, just I need to catch these hornets, we can deal with this later. Run past. Oh god, no, the hornets, they're getting the revenge. This is why the hornets are a priority. Full of flies. Means more gossip stones. Do you like that boing sound? Very satisfying. If I'm correct. Too many buttons in this game. Yeah, it's just go into the temple. I'm gonna remember to hydrate. And blink a bit. Just like staring into the soul of the... I've just read. Change the Paragon arcade thing. Yeah, we're not in Mass Effect mode anymore. Only took me like an hour to notice. Speaking of just like, you know, things that I have not watched. I think like I've obviously seen clips, but I've never sat down and watched Beavis and Butthead properly. Oh. The sacred water is within the temple. Of course, it's located in the deepest part of the temple. Oh, dear. The game really going out of its way in this part of the game to be like, hey, you know what I was talking earlier about not respecting your time? Of like, you just backtrack through this area of the game and then go all the way through the temple again, please. Oh! Oh, I'm sorry, butterflies. I didn't mean that. You're the guy I met in the volcano. What are you doing here? Oh, yeah. I have to hold my sword up. Maybe I'll just Google what rewards you can get from Skyward Sword, like treasure walls or whatever. Because I know that you can do, like, I think it Triforce, treasure walls. Goddess walls. I think if you draw a heart shape, you can get health out of it. If you draw a Triforce shape, you can get rupees. You can draw a circle to make bombs appear. You can draw a rupee to make a bunch of rupees appear. You can make arrows appear. Oh, for a pink fairy, 3 to 5. Is a Triforce. I guess we'll attempt to draw a rupee then. We'll just get ourselves some dollar. I didn't realize that's why I was just giving it a quick Google of like I didn't realize how many potential things there were to draw to get reward. Like go with the button at end. No, that's no. Oh, you. Well, that's what I get for messing it up. I was like, no, this is starting to look way too much like a circle and not a rupee. I'm gonna stop. Oh, the fuck! We've got to get a key again. We can't even just run to the end. You can drown, bitch. This is what we call some padding. Don't we all love padding, everyone? Like, if it wasn't already obvious enough that they're padding out this game, making us actually go and, like, get a small key to progress through the dungeon that we've already beaten. Now, 3D Zelda games have been pretty bad with it. This is pretty just egregious to the same way that, like, the Triforce stuff was in Wind Waker, which, guess what? They took out of the remaster. Or at least, like, simplified it down to what it was, like, probably, like, fucking 10 times quicker than it used to be in Wind Waker. Because not only did they reduce the amount of, like, treasure maps that you had to get, the treasure maps that you did get, they also massively decreased the amount of rupees cost to translate them. And they also gave you, I think, easier ways to collect rupees or, like, hold more rupees or something. Where's he buried something right around here? It's not just in there, is it? Go. There it is. No? I mean, that implies that whatever he's buried is in this room. Just try out here. I was like, okay, well, at least we can just run through the dungeon. That's not too bad, I guess. But... always past. And get through. That pro is. Finally. Okay. Like, it's not even that bad, like, in terms of difficulty, it's not that bad. In terms of egregiousness, it is. But the fact that you've already made me backtrack to the old temple is bad enough. Then for you to say, hey, it's all the way at the end of the temple again. Then for you to say, oh, by the way, the doors that you've already unlocked in the past are now locked with different small keys. Just all of it adds up to an extremely poor taste. say the door's locked again. Also, fuck you guys. Oh, great. Got like the boost on this thing. Oh my god, I keep... Because I'm trying to, like, move away from them shooting the beetle. I'm trying to, you know, dodge their attacks. No. Oh dear. Gonna be okay, Link. Real. Jesus. Oh no, okay. Okay, it is just press the door open. I thought I was like, hey, there's 2 new parts of another different key. Like, ugh. Oh dear. Okay. We got another boss fight. Boss fight. Yeah, there was in fact Twilight Princess, which was the game that started the change, and this solidified it, because like Twilight Princess, he was still left-handed in the GameCube version, because that didn't require a motion control. So this is actually the first game that you ever right-handed properly, like canonically. Blow up the skeleton. Oh yes, that is a weakness that they have. Blows up their arms, and then after that, they're way easier to obviously hit. Don't defend themselves. These bomb fuses are very long. Yeah. Oh no, not skeletons. Yeah, that makes that fight a lot easier, but just because they give you the ability to roll the bombs for quite long periods. The fuse on the bombs in this game is very long, so you're just there trying to keep them tighted around this one bomb. That's the reason that we couldn't douse, because of monster interference earlier. Is that what Miyamoto called, or like the wireless interference, when they couldn't demo this properly on stage. Oh no, monster interference. Really? I barely moved. That is good. Come to me, butterfly. The biggest criticism, as far as I'm aware, with Devil May Cry 2, well, the two biggest criticisms are the personality of Dante and the fact that every single combat encounter doesn't need to be solved with combos. It can just be shoot everything. Yeah, like that was the harshest criticism of the game, is just like, yeah, you don't actually need to use any of this cool combat system. I guess it's there, but why would you do it? Got normal water. There's only one specific part of this water which is sacred, apparently. Well, that's good. The goddess cube. Yeah, I remember it looking pretty good at the time. I remember each of the Devil May Cry games when I saw them in, like, you know, the tiny, like, 1-inch screenshot that was blurry as fuck in a magazine and shit back in the day. Like, I always remember each one looking good at the time and seeing, like, people play it and go, like, oh yeah, these games look good. So where is the sacred part of the... Specifically this bit where the fairies are. This bit is sacred, but none of the rest of the water that is in one big, you know, little area together. One big little area, I said it. Just this one spot of water within the entire shrine is sacred, but the rest can go fuck itself. Yeah, we've got 2 fairies in bottles, and then an empty bottle that we needed for the sacred water. So, there's a... It is dilution, but, like, why does that one bit of water get to be sacred? Fuck you. Can't be on the bottom. Yes, but... I'm just going to literally return to the sky and jump back in so that we can dive to the better spot. We can just dive to the bird statue that's right outside. There's fuck running all the way back through all of that. Back from the top. So maybe, yeah. Big flurry of water. Yeah, I always find it funny that it prompts you to use the sailcloth when I never press it. That link just automatically saves this fall anyway. I think I may have pressed the sailcloth button this entire playthrough about 3 times myself. Most of the time I just let Link take the damage to the face. I think it's funnier. As well though, you talk about like the fact that the water's diluted, the sacred water. We've poured one tiny little bottle of sacred water into an entire basin there that is the size of a dragon. And apparently that's enough to make the water sacred again. So the game ain't adding up here. Relatively easy to get all the fancy Pokeballs in Scarlet and Violet. Lucky from the one rule. Apparently magic does, healing magic does. But then at the shrine, the shrine doesn't believe that the rest of the water got diluted into magical water. It's all just maybe a placebo effect from Farron. Like, oh yeah, this water's way better now. I feel much better about myself. I know that there's like the Pokeball machine that you can get them like easy-ish out of, and you can reset for the market, but you have to buy them like one at a time for ridiculous prices. I'm not aware of like an easier farm than the Pokeball machine. I know there's like people have figured out as well like that you can get like certain set rolls on the machine if you like go into your menu, wait this amount of time when you've set it to this amount of time. Like you set the clock to this, you wait a certain amount of time, then you put in these items and then you go and yeah, you can upgrade the machine as well, yeah. But people have figured out ways now to like manipulate the clock and stuff like that to get like particular drops that they want as well. But it's still a pretty faffy thing to do as far as I can tell. Yeah, I generally just go in there, like, I just, you know, anytime I've gone, like, got to 999 on a certain material of a Pokemon from doing the mass encounter thing, the mass outbreak stuff, I'm just like, fuck it, I'll go through, like, a few hundred Happiny material into the machine. So I've got it to the top rank, and it still is like, oh, well, there's like a 10% chance, I think it is, or something, for it to go into one of the other modes, and then one of those modes is the Pokeball mode. That's when you can get the rare Pokeballs, but you're not guaranteed the rare Pokeballs out that unless, again, you use some, like, manipulation or something. So it's still, like, a process to get a couple of the rare Pokeballs. Yeah, it's one of those. Having the decent internet, like, been alright for me the past, like, couple of years, presumably because, like, people aren't all at home anymore, but there was a point where I was so pissed off doing streams where I'm with Virgin, and, like, the amount of times their internet would cut out while I was streaming and stuff, and they're just like, I don't know, it'll come back on soon, don't get mad at us. And it was like getting to the point where it was like maybe like a weekly occurrence, if not more, and it just got really frustrating. But it has been decent now, like, luckily. Like, I'm just at that point now where it's like, it's consistent and it's relatively fast. Like, I pay for a gig and I don't get a gig, but it's fast enough where it's like, fuck it, I want to download a game. Okay, give it half an hour, and no matter what game it is, basically, download it. Yeah, I mean, we don't get much weather, like, in Liverpool, which is on the coast, but, like, it's just a lot of wind all of the time, and I don't think it actually rains much more than anywhere else in the UK, but the UK just rains a lot. It's just like, living here is just, there's just a lot of relatively strong wind all of the time, but it never gets to, like, you know, hurricane levels or any of that shit. Like, you know, it's always weather's relatively mild in the UK compared to most places. It's just wet. I know there was like one thing caught in the auto mod that I sorted, but it's all good. You only need to apologize. Well, I'd say you only need to apologize if you said something offensive, but depending on how offensive it is, depends on whether you'll be here to. If it's extremely offensive, you may just be blocked before you ever got the chance to know, but you're all good. Yeah, it was just because of that. It's just a term that has not been permitted by my auto mod before. Yeah, exactly. It's always better when, like, you know, when you're letting the public in and letting public comment and stuff, like, you know, I never mean it to sound offensive to anyone in chat, but you never know who could come in and just say something horrific. So it's better to just have, like, auto-mod and Nightbot set up to just be there in case. Especially when it's the sake of, like, you know, randomly people will decide, like, oh, I'm just going to come into your stream with, like, a bunch of bots that are going to spam shit as well, like, stuff like that. Luckily I've never dealt with before, but I've seen enough people post about it online that it's like, well, just don't take the risk. I presume this is just telling us how to open the door. I'm not understanding. Okay. Strike the giant stone, pointing in 4 directions wisely. The way will only open. Oh, okay. Top, bottom, left, right. That worked. I don't know how I'm meant to find out that secret order. But I just guessed, and we got lucky. Which is a bit unfortunate, because now it means I might be not looking out for something that I was meant to be looking out for. Oh god, no. Can't get me. Climb onto this one. Seems a lot easier than actually fighting any of the big spiders. Just swim past them all. Oh. Oh. Oh, something different's going on there. Okay. Ah. So it looks like the aim is to climb up here and jump on this little plant here, flipping it upside down. And then we can swim through the passageway that it was hiding and blocking up. So there we go. See, that's just the amount of energy it must require to speed up in the water doing like a tornado spin. Jump out like a dolphin, and then mid-spin dolphin jump out of the water, grab one-handed your entire body weight onto vines, and stay held on. Like, that is some that is even past Olympian level shit. That is superhuman level. Yeah, we can just... Yeah, right. It's so much harder to fight those Dekubabas when you were reliant on the motion controls. No. Nope. I don't have a map yet, do I? There's a locked door here. Okay, we've been around that little loop. Stay in the locked door in the middle here. Yes, there we go. Now we need the whip. Because, yeah, fun fact, Link just becomes like Dommy Daddy in this like dungeon, the item that you gain is just a whip. Just straight up whip. You heard me, girl. Gets his whip on the go. Oh, this one. Okay. This one you kind of have to fight a bit more fairly than the other ones, because you just kind of, the moment you bomb it and hit it once, it just gets its shit back together immediately. Yeah, this is a lot easier doing this fight with the button controls rather than the motion controls of the Wii. I will say that for sure. Oh! Oh god. I do definitely tend to like, go into panic mode in this game though, when the moment I miss one hit, I'll go into panic mode trying to, you know, quickly make up for my mistake, which then leads to more mistakes. Yes, it's a pretty cool design. Especially with the added, like, armor and stuff. Like, just the extra bits of detail where it's not just a skeleton. Like the other guys kind of wear. A few hearts back here. This boss is ramping up. Becoming very unforgiving. Timing wise. Like that. Fucking hell. Yeah, maybe. Maybe bomb him now. Okay, yeah, it was final hit there. I love this cutscene. This is great. There we go. It was just falling apart. Yeah, okay, the bombs were not very useful to begin with. But when it's like, oh, they're on the last hit and they're getting really angsty with you, just, yeah, do it there. Is it time? Here we go. Just, it's not even called anything. It's not like, you know, when you find, like, the fairy bow and arrow, like, it's just, you got a whip. Link got a whip. That's all it is. Oh, well, okay then. To be fair to Michael Bay, I feel like that's a good criticism of the Transformers films. Not necessarily Michael Bay as a creative, like, as a whole. So do you feel like he was a good schlocky action director, and then just the CGI nonsense of how, like, the Transformers work just completely seemed to get in the way? Whereas I think the like a lot of his other films that I have seen anyway seem to translate fairly well into just, yeah, this is a schlocky action film, but I can understand what's happening on screen visually. Like a lot of it is just admittedly like, look, explosions, dumb one-liners. Now I need to try and get back down from. Oh. the ankle breaker. Gosh darn it. Did not help on it. Anyway. I also just, just like, when you fucking, your knees become your heart. I also just want to point out how cool the design is of this temple. Because right now you will see that there is like this nice big statue going on in the middle. Like a set of gears and everything. There's like all nice, pristine things. And that's just like, you know, elements and themes to bear in mind as we go through the rest of the temple now. It does take a really cool turn. And it's probably one of the cooler designs of temples rather than just like, this one's a fiery one. It's like, oh no, they actually put some thought into this one. And I say that, you know, obviously in jest, like, I'm not playing through the entire series of Zelda because I don't like it. I'm playing through them because I fucking adore these games, but just, this is like, I think a next level design in terms of the theming and stuff. They thought of it more than just, it's the watery one. Damaged by a lily pad. Oh yes, of course, now that we've got the whip, we whip these lily pads. Turn them upside down, there we go. And these levels as well. So all of a sudden Link's life becomes so much easier. Which is exactly what you need out of a dungeon item or a temple item, I should. Very adamant to use the word temple in this. Again, I don't think it would be a good idea to, like, use the word dungeon, put Link in a dungeon and give him a whip. It's probably a bad look for Nintendo. I would argue it's a good look, but yeah, Nintendo would probably not agree. It's not me who asked to Nene, that would mean it's Link who asked to Nene. Was that the one that was, Will Smith's daughter? Was that song, and, like, she talked for a while and was like, I fucking hate my life. And admittedly, you know, when he found out how much they hated it, he apparently did immediately stop, you know, gave them the choice to stop doing any of it, and he wasn't necessarily forcing them into the careers. He was like trying to use his you know, he was trying to use nepotism in a way of like, no, I want to give you guys like a good start in life and stuff and your own paths. And it's like, okay, sure. That was with my hair back and forth, that's it, yeah. I knew there was whipping and something. Yeah, it's like the argument of creating your own little nepo babies of like, no, I'm just trying to, like, you know, make their own life better. It's like, are you? Or you're just trying to turn your children into like a dynasty of money. Speaking of just trying to farm money, let's try and do this rupees again. Straight down. No. Oh my god, this is very wonky. Hopefully the game knows that this is a rupee and not a circle. There we go. I feel like it was a close call that time. There's rupee head. I think if I hadn't made it as, like, long vertically, then it would have just been like, nah, mate, this is a bomb. This ain't no rupee. I do like that. Of like, well, you can use the whip as a grappling line. But I think this is one of those items similar to the spinner in Twilight Princess, where they make a really good use out of it in the dungeon that you get it, and then it basically might as well like not be there for the rest of the game, if I can remember correctly. Ooh, higher than that. And I forgot you can just do this. Super great. I mean, either way, it sucks. Yeah, 98 is fair play. Come on. What? No. There we go. Oh? Hello? Well, I don't care whether we're meant to go in there or not. We're going in. Just Link no-selling it. Like, he truly is the absolute just master of courage. He has earned that Triforce piece, just undoubtedly. Oh, hey, look, there's like a horrible looking waterfall that looks like it could shred me apart in. Easy. Yeah. Forgot this was. Just drop the shit up. You just drop them onto the lily pads, they flip the lily pads, and you just drown the spiders. The skull pillars. I have not got a problem with spiders. Mainly, probably, because I live in a place where spiders can't harm me, admittedly, but you know. To say that as a little, like, bug flies right toward lights, and like, yeah. That's why I like spiders, because they deal with the rest of the bugs. So this is a pretty cool puzzle as well. Like, oh hey! We're locked in a room. We have no way out. But... oh, there we go. Just, like, full Indiana Jones style. I'm gonna, like, steal the small key from your belt with my whip. Was it cancelled? That's a big episode about spiders? Was it, like, telling kids to not be afraid of them or something, and then it's, like... no, that's a stupid idea because many places in the world have deadly spiders. Was it that kind of vibe? Yeah, I was imagining it was something like that. Yeah, that's fine here. You go try telling an Australian child that. It's not going to end well. Yeah. What? He's gone. Like, the force involved in that jet stream to second one eat up Link's entire body without even, like, you know, not even hesitation from Link or anything. Just, he didn't have a chance. That was like second one. Link is gone. Yeah, imagine like I know American spiders, like there are some deadly spiders in America, and generally speaking, like the smaller ones are the scarier ones because they're like the more venomous generally. But like obviously there's spiders in Australia where you see pictures that are like, yeah, this spider is like gonna be the size of the child, and you've got Peppa Pig go, don't worry about the spiders, they mates. Like, so the spider is bigger than I am, Mr. Pig. I'm not sure that's correct. And obviously I'm talking about Daddy Pig when I say Mr. Pig. The Daddy. Dinner plate spider. Yeah, there's a few. I can only remember, like, I know one example is the funnel web, where there's quite a few Australian devs on Destiny, and quite a few of the Weist weapons are meant to be names of poisonous spiders, and I think most of them are like Australian spiders specifically. And the funnel web is an example I can think of off the top of my head, but I know there's a few others as well. They're really, like, complex temple design-wise. Definitely not one that I can just immediately remember the entire layout of. A lot of twists and turns and ups and downs. But it all kind of just flows quite nicely together. We haven't really found ourselves at a point where we've been lost. Yeah, the Recluse is another one. That is that's another like a Destiny submachine gun. They've recently put back. That's definitely another one there. It's not specifically the brown Recluse in the game, it's just called the Recluse, but there we go. Now that sounds like a fucking D&D villain. The Orb Weavers. Now that does sound like an evil kind of fantasy race of some. I'm imagining they like conjure magical orbs all the time. if Link gets his whip on. And the thing is, the proficiency and accuracy that Link has with this whip implies that this Link knows how to use a whip already. Yeah, like, as much as, you know, I always shit on the UK and would say that I would like to go to other countries and stuff, or like potentially live in other countries. Just hearing stuff like that is like, not that I'm in a place with such mild populations of dangerous animals and stuff. Like, there's not really many things that can fuck you up in the UK, and if they're like, if they are there, they're not really common unless you go to, you know, you basically go out your way for looking for them. I mean, spiders are cool. Like, that's the thing. There are some spiders that are cool in the sense of, like, you know, oh, well, spiders in the UK where they're pretty chill. They can't really harm you. They're pretty cool. They get rid of all the bugs for you. And then, did you know, the cool side in terms of, oh, these ones are cool because they're interesting to talk about, and it's fascinating how, like, dangerous and wacky they are. Yeah. Like, that thing is, yeah, not every single spider in the UK is perfectly harmless, but generally speaking, it's very difficult to come into a situation where you're having a problem. Okay. I mean, yeah, like, most spiders are, what, hundreds of times smaller than us, unless you're, like, you know, those giant spiders. The majority of them, massively, massively smaller than us. Why the fuck would they start a fight with us without needing to? The Soldu item legal. Soldu, is that the one that's, like, specifically for Latios and Latias? This is what I was talking about. This is when the temple takes a bit of a turn. Like, oh, now all of a sudden we're, like, in this weird, like, forbidden depths part. And all of a sudden we've gone from just this really lovely, idyllic looking location to just, oh no, there's fucking, like, zombie bokoblins down here. I've never really, like, looked into it, but all I remember hearing is, like, yeah, there's, like, the item for those two that got banned for a fucking good reason. But yeah, like, this design shift is really cool in contrast to most Zelda temples, where it is just, hey, we've picked an element, we're going in on that theme of, it's sand, it's, you know, ice, it's water, it's fire, whatever. Got that really cool kind of, like, almost like heaven and hell-esque aesthetic to it, which is awesome. Gemstones shine steeper than the stray kids to shut down the mouth. Yeah, true. I mean, it is almost a mini version of like the skies and the depths. Hopefully we're still live, chat. My spring preview just died to fuck. It doesn't appear to be affecting my OBS or anything. Yeah, it was just my like Twitch page preview that on my Twitch was just like, well, video players like offline. I was like, does that mean I am? No, good, good. The moment I talked about like the depths, it's like, yeah, we're sending you there, don't worry. We have also been banished to the depths as well. But yeah, that's something I hadn't considered, is like, this is very akin to the idea of the skies and the depths in Tears of the Kingdom. Okay, I can pull that off. No. Not on this one, I can't. So I think we were meant to figure out a way to get the bomb from behind the waterfall. And maybe, like, stop that waterfall, take that bomb to there. But instead you can kind of just hot swap. Yeah, that was a bad miss. It was. I was just all over the place with that one. I was like, I'm very misaligned. I'm just gonna drop on this one, and we'll try again. Oh god, that looks nasty. Just the spinning, like, that's a very fast spinning platform as well, just into the death wall. There we go. Now we're safe. I don't know who activated it to death side, but I respect it. To be fair, when it's just like only zombies down here, yeah, I get it. I think we have to down. Then we go back up, get it around. I watched the sketch, the Mitchell and Webb sketch of like the alien conspiracy one of like the Area 51 of like, and you really think like they'd be able to, you know, get everyone to conspire on this and no one would ever find out and stuff, and it did really remind me of like the COVID conspiracy talk of like, yeah man, the entire world, like every government and governing body in the world has like agreed to this one mass great conspiracy, and it's most of them like can't fucking agree on their own shit in their own country, let alone Getting every government in the entire world to agree on one conspiracy and no one letting it slip. That's just a shortcut back to Zombieland. So let's literally like fucking ascend back into the heavens. But we haven't got... Oh. This is the eye, right? So I'd say we haven't got the item yet. Where it said strike a red gemstone within the eye. Ah, maybe it's this one. That's just the puzzle. Got the waterfall flowing right. Tipped over. Oh no. Yeah, that was just the bit to solve that puzzle earlier. So I don't know how we're getting the boss key. Oh, actually no, I do. So we go up, we lift the statue back up, we flip that switch to send the statue up, and then we come back through this hole, I guess. God, yeah, like... Oh, yeah, shit, yeah, I forgot about this bit. Literally, like, the zombies come out of the skeleton pit and start chasing you up. Oh, God. Okay. And then you flip the switch from this side back up, yeah. Really, really cool design, like, really cool temple. And also has a good boss as well. And I think the... No, I can't remember what the next one is. But then the one after that is like a ship which has got a cool temple as well. Not quite as cool a boss though. I mean, I think insects would do a better job of being our overlords at this point than any human has proven. Fuck it, the ants seem to have, like, at least more efficient existence than we do. Sure, like, sometimes, you know, they get themselves caught in death spirals, but who doesn't? God, run. Run, Link, run. Oh, that was really easy. Oh, wow. I remember that being more epic than it actually is. I'm like, oh, if you don't panic and you just sprint straight out, you just walk out. That's great, cool. I was like, oh man, yeah, I remember this bit where, like, started getting crowded out by zombie bokoblins, and I guess maybe when the first time I played it, I just, like, was a bit more invested and, like, you know, let myself stand there for a second. It is cool, bro. Didn't know that you could disrupt an undeath spiral, no. I mean, I imagine, like, you can literally disrupt it in the sense of, like, you could put an obstacle in the way of them, yeah, sure, but I was not aware that you could do anything to, like, stop the death spiral happening. If that is what you mean. Or stop it from reaching its inevitable conclusion, I guess, is the better way to put it. Disperse absolutely fuck them all. I mean, that's the thing, is they'll get knocked around and be very confused, but that's surely a lot more humane than letting them just spiral and warp themselves until they die. I don't think I've seen a lion ant pit before. Definitely not in real life, but I don't remember seeing one online or anything. Jesus. Imagine trying to, like, leaf blower away 2 miles worth of ants. What does that look like? As well, like that, you know, the pattern for the boss key door and stuff is like a nice giant flower rather than a big golden door. The ant harassers. Again, though, like, a bit of harassment is definitely better than just letting them all die. Just too good with this whip. Oh god, what happens when you introduce a Beyblade into an undeath spiral? So yeah, we're up into the boss, which, you know, many people actually claim this to be, like, potentially the best / coolest boss in Zelda. It's definitely a very good one. So keep note. Very cool idea. I don't think it's going to translate as well to watch as it is to play. In terms of, like, I think the reason why a lot of people say how good this boss is like, how satisfying it is. But you'll all see now. Hear him again. Yeah, it has been. Talking to someone in my family the other day, and they were like, yeah, Tears of the Kingdom has been out a year. I was like, holy shit. He's in. He's terribly busy trying to find the clues that will help him revive the Demon King. Oh, really? I love that you've been a mod for over a year, and, like, well, apart from Carl, you're the only mod, and the only reason is because you asked. I know I'm not going to make every single person who asks a mod. But obviously you'd already been around for, like, years at that point, and you made the joke. It's like, fuck it, why not? Modding around everything. Your incessant buzzing around my head like some gadfly. when I'm this busy is, well, it's making me very disagreeable. Right, he's in, he's out. Girahim's like, I don't fucking have time for you right now. Piss off. You're gonna get to fight this shit. The Colossus. Like, first of all, it's just a fucking cool design. Fight this other stand. Yeah, that's true. God, I know what a stand is now, and I don't want to know. I don't want to fight this stand. Take me back to 2 hours ago when I didn't know what one was, please. Oh, there we go. Yeah, see. There we go. Pull his arm out. Pull its arm out. You have to be close enough to, like, bait the shrike. Oh god. Hit me, baby. Oh yeah. Let's go all in. I always think it's cool to make a boss able to be like torn apart. Things on it. Oh god, my timing though. I was not on it that time. Just ripping these giant arms off Colossus. Which again, that's why I'm, you know, I was talking earlier, but I'm not sure how much the satisfaction translates when it's me playing and other people watching. But like the satisfaction of being like, fuck you, I'm ripping each arm off one at a time. And then getting in there. Like, this thing 100% reminds me of a Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, level 7 plus monster. And it's like, yeah, get ready for phase 2, bitch. True Colossus time. Colossus Unbound. God. Then Link's like, huh. This looks like fun. Yeah! Oh! Oh! Link's just in there, he's ready. Oh! Just annihilate this Colossus. Take it out. Just the power of Link. Just Buster Link appears. Oh no. I don't think I've ever, like, spanned the zombie around with the whip before. That's great. Whoa! God, that's rough. Give me your sword. Give me that sword. Let's go. Like, at this point, you don't mind. You don't mind that Link is like charging against this rampaging monster. You're like, yeah, but I've got a cool sword. You fool. Why would you give me this power? Just the fuck you. Oh. It is a bit harder to dodge, yeah. But we'll be fine. I'm just being a bit silly and not taking the proper precautions. Oh my god, this thing is rampaging for a long time this time though. Whoa! Can't go for his legs, unfortunately. Come on, hit me. Hit me, you coward. Yeah. Give me that. Oh no! No! The one Zombobkin. I don't know what to call it. Chat, we need to come up with a name for the zombie goblin. Go. And also just lets out a terrifying child's laugh at the end before it dies. It just adds that little bit extra. Like the cherry on the top. The bell. So yeah, that I really find that boss just really fun. Like, first off, you know, ripping off each limb by limb, and then the second phase coming out and pulling out all the swords, and then you start using the swords against it. It's a really cool idea, and also obviously. Yeah, to just be Buster Link yourself at the end. You know there was definitely a version of this fight where the boss just all disappeared and so did the weapons at the end. And people just went, nah, let us just run around this room just being Big Link. They should just be like, you've upgraded your Master Sword. You now wield this fucking thing. When people talk about how crazy it is that, like, oh, well, Cloud's sword is, like, basically the size of him. This thing's, like, way bigger than Link. But obviously he doesn't wield it quite as spectacularly as Cloud does. I reckon he could with some training, though. Give Link, like, a week with that thing. He could start swinging it around pretty easily. It's true, yeah. I do agree. Like, I think Link is superior to Cloud. However, specifically on the case of, like, swinging around a massive weapon, I think Cloud takes that cake, but yeah, it's still very fucking impressive that Link can wield that. See, now we're upgrading our Goddess Sword. Remember, it's the Goddess Sword at the moment, because this is the first game in the series, chronologically. I think that, yeah, instead of the sword imbuing the power of the flames, Can we just have feet as a companion on fire at all times? Can we just have feet in the background just shooting these fireballs? Like, we enter a room, cast fireball. Every time. Making it longer and sharp enough to do twice as much damage. So if you thought there were quite a few enemies taking like quite a fair amount of hits like that. The big chubby one with the shield, like those moblins and stuff, they took a lot of hits, but yeah, it's because like the sword literally becomes twice as powerful. Just after they introduce those enemies, so you start getting that feeling for a little bit of like, oh man, like these enemies take forever to kill, and then the game immediately gives you like double strength sword. Or not immediately, like an hour or two later. I do like that that idea of like upgrading the enemies just before you get your upgrade, so that when you do get your upgrade, you feel that upgrade. Oh no, I meant as in like they've introduced like the bigger moblins and the blue bokoblins. They've introduced like the upgraded enemies into the game a couple of hours ago. So like there's new classes of enemies that have only just become available since we've started like this one particular mission a couple of hours back. So like yeah. It's one of those things of like, yeah, they upgrade the enemies a bit before the upgrade link, which is really satisfying. Farewell, boy. That dragon was hench as fuck, by the way. Like, it was just all it did was like chest and arm day at the gym. It was so triangular. Oh, let's go. Get them, but I love it in games where like things like that, like bugs and stuff. That bug just fully jumped off into the water to its absolute death instead of getting caught by Link. The other dragon, it's true. Just Jiren. That's what we'll call. But yeah, that grasshopper saw Link catching its friend and went, nah, I'm out. I would rather drown right now. I want to get shoved into this man's infinite pockets. Just crammed into this with like 50 other bugs in there all screaming for their lives. Like, oh god! He's seen Link's previous war crimes. That grasshopper knows. He knows too much. Go learn that new melody. And again, just like I get for story purposes getting you to come back here every time, but again, just a little bit of extra fluff where like the game is just choosing to put like the idea of actually having a decent story above just the fluidity of the game. Because Twilight Princess did like an okay story-wise, and I feel like this one more than most. No, we've got to make sure that this is like an epic story. Feels epic, and it's... Or we could just go the complete opposite way and try and make a cool story while not holding your hand at all, like they did in Breath of the Wild after this, of course. See, I think that looks way cooler than dropping in with a sailcloth. Just Link body dropping, like, face first, just right into the ground. get that belly flop straight into concrete. And he didn't even take damage because he only jumped from like 5 floors. Oh, here we go again. Where the statue can lip sync, but Fee cannot. A new message from the goddess awakened from deep within my mouth. Yeah, that's the thing, is Tears of the Kingdom is like the best story, but you can also kind of play that game without experiencing most of it. Ocarina of Time is also a good contender. I feel like Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, they all kind of had, and Majora's Mask as well, like all the 3D ones all kind of had like very similar thing of, you know, story dungeon, story dungeon, story dungeon, story dungeon, kind of theming around it. And they all did have like quite long opening segments, and they all felt relatively similar in terms of like the way that you would progress story. And I think that, yeah, like Breath of the Wild was a bit weirder, I think, but I definitely think they managed like completely with Tears of the Kingdom, with like everything they managed to do. They just did what they did with Breath of the Wild, but like, you know, amped it up to 11 basically. Yeah, no worries, Shadow. Yeah, thank you all for joining in. Well, thank you, Shadow, for joining in. Take care, of course. Yeah. So now we need to go to the Nehru Desert. Okay, so it is this one next that I'm thinking of. In terms of like the cool ship temple. Ship with a P. I really like these colors of like that pink one and that turquoisey one. How many Links play instruments? A Link band is definitely possible. Like, you have an entire band worth of Link in Majora's Mask alone. Because you have, like, Deku Link with the trumpets, normal Link with the ocarina, Goron Link with the drums, and the guitar for the Zora version. And then you have Harp playing Link, Wind Waker playing Link, who could be the conductor of the band. You have one that plays a pan flute in Spirit Tracks, I want to say. Quite a few of them play the ocarina. Like, there's a few different iterations that play the ocarina. Might be it. They all have the capacity to just scream for the high heavens. So yeah, band Link, not a necessarily like very contemporary band, because you got like an ocarina and a pan flute and a trumpet set in there. But you also do have, yeah, you have some drums, you have some guitar. And as I say, you have the conductor to keep it all going. Link 182. Well, obviously the regular joke, the classic, is Linkin Park. But then that means that we've got to get one of the Links rap in as well. Which presumably would be Twilight Princess Link, because he's the edgiest. Actually, no, maybe Twilight Princess would do, like, get some, like, metal screams in Chester style. Yeah, no worries, Shadow. Good night, but, yeah, I'm just gonna drop us off Skyloft now and call it there anyway, because we're about to start like the next quest for the next like area of the game and stuff. So we'll call it there for a day anyway, because it is nearly like 1 AM. Yeah, it's a good just resting point in general. It's like you know, we've just finished that temple and that part of the story. Next time we're ready to crack on and continue. Yes, thank you all for joining, and I hope everyone has a lovely day, evening, or night, wherever you are. On Thursday, I'll hopefully be training some Pokemon, and we'll do some competitive battling. We'll do competitive battling regardless of whether I've gotten round to training any more Pokemon, but yeah, hopefully I get the chance to do that. But yeah, thank you all for joining.